it really just set me free.
Okay.
It's a situation, it was an allegation with, a guy who said, it ended up being a situation that went viral. People were talking about it. And it upset me because I didn't even know who the person was. I'm like, why would somebody who I've never met, never had any contact with, make up a whole story about me? And I saw all the hate, the pure hate from people that I've never met before, just pile up everywhere I went against me. And I think that liberated me because I saw how a lot of people would feel, whether they're gay, whether they're straight, whether they have issues. People are afraid to be who they are. They're afraid to just step out and be, like you said, because they're afraid of what other people might say or think about them. And so that situation made me realize, you're not like this, but just be you, be free.
Meaning you're not gay.
I'm not gay.
No more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women.
You can go anywhere to get the lies, but I know you came here to get the truth. Welcome to the Alphasphere. Welcome to the Alphasphere, the only place on the planet that's totally engulfed in positivity and totally submerged in alpha energy. I'm your host, Dr. BOA. I tell y'all all the time, if a man is a super gangster in the streets, he probably cream puff with his woman at home. If a man is always buying really big cars and really big bikes and really big chains and really big homes and really big everything, he probably ain't a centimeter above 5'8". And if you show me a man who's a super player and constantly is bragging about how many women he has and constantly getting with every woman he can get with and trying to have as much intimate pleasure from women as he can, that man too is more than likely overcompensating for the fact that he has questions about not his own spirituality, not his own morality, not his own mentality, but his own sexuality. And in 2017, y'all recall Usher was accused of giving that herpes to both men and women. Now, Dwight Howard has been accused of something even more egregious, not involving the many baby mamas he has, but involving a man who has accused him of something even worse than what Usher was accused of. It goes to show that many times you see a man who's always getting as many women as he can. He has 10 baby mamas and 8 baby mamas, and even Nick Cannon. He's going down that same path and without any other explanation for it. And I'm not wishing this on him, but don't be surprised if something comes out about him that shows that he too has questions about his own sexuality. When you think about the dirtiness, the filthiness of how we say a woman builds a body count and she's out there on the carousel and doing, all of these crazy names that you guys have for women who are out there being intimately free, let's call it that. But how about how nasty and foul it is for you as a man as well? See, you have beta males who are going to constantly tell you that it is your job to get with as many women as you can. But look into those men spiritually. Look into those men financially. Look into those men's morality, and you'll see that they have no moral fiber to speak of. Now, you can live that way if you want to, but there are consequences and repercussions because those men also have very weak control of themselves. If you are totally out of control of yourself when it comes to intimacy, there are other areas you are totally out of control of yourself in as well. And what good is a man if he can't control himself? What kind of leader is a man if he can't lead himself? What kind of teacher is a man if he can't instruct himself? What kind of spiritual guide is a man if he doesn't even respond to his own spiritual guidance? So when a man tells you the best thing you can do is sleep with as many women as you can, that man is telling you that the only way he has found in all of the years he's been on the earth to value himself is by how many women he sleeps with. It's by how many women he sleeps with. Sometimes it's not about how many women he sleeps with, how many women he talks to, how many women he approaches. I tell you men all the time, when you wonder about the balance, the imbalance that the code approach provides, what it does is it empowers a woman who is already empowered, because we're in a society that empowers her anyway. So if she's attractive enough for you to approach, she's already empowered. What benefit do you get from empowering her, especially if you get shot down? If you get turned down when you cold approach a woman, what value have you gained? You are a man who has no self-respect, no self-esteem, no self-value. You've never taken an introspective look at yourself to see what you can value from within. So you know what you do? You value yourself by your ability to repeat the behavior of these beta males, who for all that behavior, all that getting women, all of that talking, all of that interacting intimately with all of these different women, ain't got nothing. Nothing. They have nothing to show for it. Which one of them got rich because they slept with all those women? Which one of them became debt-free because they slept with all those women? Which one of them became more spiritually astute because they slept with all those women? Which one of them developed the mindset of how to take care of yourself, how to embrace the health is wealth mantra because they slept with all of those women? How many of them even know the difference between eating clean and not? How many of them pour liquor down their guts, destroying their liver, destroying their kidney, destroying their heart, destroying their blood? How many of them eat pork and seafood and all that foolishness, a mouth full of sugar all the time? All of those things that destroy a man internally and externally. Probably all of them. So when you hear a man say that Dwight Howard has accused, Dwight Howard has, I tell you what, let's read these messages between the two. So when you see an exchange like this between two men DMing one another, what the hell are two men doing DMing one another about anything that has anything to do with intimacy at all? Even if you want to have a threesome, man, you ain't got nobody around, man, that you can say, man, hey, man, let's go run a train on this chick. 'Cause two men and one woman is not a threesome, that's a train. Why are you online meeting people, men, to have what you call a threesome? It's not like you got a wife. You've been running through women, man, since you got in the league. You got more baby mama drama than Inches O'Shell got over in Obama in height. Something wrong with you, my boy. So for this to come out, man, this ain't no fluke. Let me tell y'all something that's real. Certain things should not come out about you. If they do, there's probably at least a shred of truth to them. All the rumors about Usher doing what he was doing, man, spreading that herpes around all these people, man, there's at least a shred of truth to it. It may not have been herpes. It may have been chlamydia. But it was something. Otherwise, why are all these people coming out saying the same thing? When we look at Kels, y'all want Kels to be free? Kels don't need to be free. All of these different incidences in all these different places. Hey man, listen, there has to be some truth to it. But here we have text evidence. Why, if another man is calling you sexy, why are you talking to a man who would call you sexy? Unless you want to be called sexy by a man. Unless you want a man to think you sexy. And when a man says he came to your house and you forced him into a threesome with you, and I don't know, either it couldn't have been a man or a woman, I don't know. Who knows? But I tell you, man, after you play the game with so many women and you're intimately involved with so many women, you get bored. That's why I abstain 6 months out of the year. I'm always excited about getting it in with a female species, boy. Why? Because I take breaks. I grew up, I've seen men become bored with just being with women. So what do? They go be with 5 women. They be with 10 women. Then what do? Start sleeping with married women. Then they start sleeping with women who, they start doing all kinds of things. Before you know it, the fool done got him a mail order bride from another country because he was just so bored with everything he was doing. Now he wanted something exotic. Now he's stuck with a woman who married him for a green card. Even worse than that, he carrying a package around that's making him look like he intentionally losing weight on the Jenny Craig diet. If you spend all of your time focused on getting as much of one thing as you possibly can, when it comes to pleasure. Whether you're going to use substances and stay inebriated all the time, or if you're going to be interacting intimately, it more than likely lends itself to the fact that you have some shortcomings in another area, and you may not even be trying to cover them anymore, but you're still trying to compensate for them. And after a while, compensation becomes overcompensation. Why? Because basic compensation doesn't work. So you need more. And after about 10 baby mamas, I would imagine, and that's not even counting the women the guy slept with when he was, really running the league, when he was the man in the NBA. Who knows? We just talking about the baby mamas. Let me tell you something, man. Y'all always remember this. If you overindulge in something so much that you get bored, you either gonna do something strange for a little piece of change, or you gonna pay somebody else to do something strange for a little piece of change. So when you see what's taking place with Dwight Howard, it's got to be a reason where a man accused you of. That's a strong accusation. To make an accusation that another man invited you somewhere and coerced you, forced you to do something you didn't want to do intimately. It's got to be a shred of truth to it. I'm just a firm believer that there's at least a shred of truth to it. Now, anybody can start a rumor, but when somebody publicly professes something, it's probably at least a shred of evidence, shred of truth to it. It may not even be something Dwight Howard forced, but the event probably did take place in some kind of way. And it's all because after you have played the game so long, you get bored with the game. That's any game. You can love solitaire. You can play solitaire on a 2-hour flight from ATL to Hartford, Connecticut. But let's see if you can play solitaire on an 18-hour flight to South Africa. Your ass is going to get bored before you get across the water good. That's just the way it is. So I'm not, saying that Dwight Howard is guilty of a crime or anything like that. But I'm saying it's mighty funny that all the NBA players, you don't hear this about LeBron. You hear this about MJ. You didn't hear this about Kobe. You heard Kobe had this little thing. When Kobe did something, you heard about it. When MJ did something, you heard about it. When athletes do things, you hear about it. But I've never heard about this pertaining to any other athlete except Dwight Howard. So avoid dudes who always talking about sleep with women, as many as you can. Because they're so desperate to overcome their own questions about their sexuality that they will employ you to help them overcome the idea about themselves that they can't accept. And who wants to follow, associate with, stand behind any man who can't even be open and honest with himself about himself? But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being too hard on Dwight Howard, man. Maybe I'm even Usher, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm exhibiting a little bit of toxic masculinity. I don't think so. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.